Like I look at people and they're going to the airport banks and I just want to go up and shake them and say, please don't do this because they're taking 25 to 30% off you. And they don't even realize. It's just like, but it's even with that, it's like, and you mentioned China, like if you look at anywhere else in the world, like there's a credit system because if you want to get a house or whatever, it's like, hey, yeah, you good boy. No, then you don't get a loan. And it's like, so there is a credit system everywhere. So it's very hard. And like the other thing is the protection with the banks because some countries it's like 50,000 and in others it's 100. I don't think it's more than 100,000. So if you're a millionaire, like what do you do? Go into 10 different banks and it's like that's not really convenient either. So there's no really kind of safe system because everyone's trying to protect themselves and maybe get earn a certain bit of interest. But there's always the market's being manipulated by people and they're losing pensions, as you say, go down, go down, go down. It's like the everyday person is losing constantly and the big boys are just making more money. And unfortunately, that's the way the whole financial system is.
You know, it's so funny you said that because that is in some ways where I got to at the end of the book. And it's hard not to get depressed. Like when you really like dig into and look at what's happening in the world, it's hard not to become nihilistic and depressed and just start drinking like all the time, right? Um, but there is something to be said, and I guess one of my hopes for the book was to at least start the discussion because one of the things that was kind of in what you said, or at least one of the things that I took away from it, so correct me if it wasn't kind of your intention, but the system has always, especially capitalism, has always been rigged to benefit the haves and take from the have-nots. And in the past, there were systems, like Singapore or other countries where, yes, there were a lot of haves, but they acknowledged like you have to keep the have-nots happy enough because you have to live together, right? And some countries were better about recognizing if you have a middle class, if you give people a comfortable life, then they will generally be okay with their lot in life and they won't necessarily resent the fact that it's very difficult to become a have, right? And I'm not saying that's what Singapore does specifically. I do think that's what's happened in the United States. You see some countries where the wealth inequality gap has gotten so massive. There's so few haves, and everybody's really a have not. So, what do you have to do? You have to basically manipulate the have nots into either thinking that they have more than they do, or that it's easier, that if they just vote with these people, they can get into that category. You just have to basically con them over and over and over into choosing because we can vote, into voting against their self-interest, or make it seem like voting is the election is rigged, it's pointless to vote, you don't need to vote, you don't need to have a say, just stay home and everything will be fine. And the only people who benefit from that in either political party are the haves. Like that's the truly sad thing in democracies around the world right now is that whether you look at the left or you look at the right, the people who are actually benefiting are the haves, and the people that are losing are the have nots. And the thing that those people should have in common is the have nots should care about the system being rigged against them. But the haves are really, really good at getting them to kind of ignore that and fight amongst themselves about otherism and things like DEI and all the crap that they can make up to make the have nots fight against themselves instead of, to your point, looking at the system has been rigged against you for over 100 years.